You know that person that just seems happy, genuinely happy, like all the time? How do we achieve that?
Welcome to the Awesome Human Podcast, your path to total human optimization. Ready to unleash your 100%? Let's go.
Hello and welcome back to the Awesome Human Podcast with me, Ben Coomber, and today we're going to be talking about happiness, which is the goal. And how I'm going to phrase it is, how do we live a no strings attached life? And I want to anchor it in an individual that we probably all know. Know that person that just whenever you see them, they're happy, like life's just always good, they're sort of unattached to things, and you look at them and you're in awe a little bit. It's just like, whatever happens, you're just happy. And the thing is, I think that is achievable for all people. Now, I'm going to tell an honest truth. I thought I was happy for a long time. And I kind of was. Like, there was a lot to be happy about. But there was also a lot that I was unhappy about. And the problem with living a life where you're always trying to optimize yourself is you can fall foul of always being unhappy, because you're always trying to optimize. And it's kind of that juxtaposition of like, I want to be ambitious, I want to grow, I want to achieve, I want to do things, but I also want to just be happy, I want to be present, and I want to enjoy my life. Can those two things exist? That's kind of the question. And what I believe has to happen is we have to detach ourselves from anything that makes us happy. Now, life is challenging at times. Life can be challenging on a day-to-day basis. And if we accept and know and appreciate that life will and life is challenging, and we can let go of that, we cannot try and change that, we can simply accept all of it, then the chances are we could be happy at any given moment a lot of the time. Now, that doesn't mean things don't happen and we react. Let's say something happens in your life and you get angry. That's not a bad thing. Anger is a totally normal reaction. But what you want is for the anger to appear. You sort of analyze it. You're like, whoa, I'm angry. You're like, why is that? What's that triggered? Let me kind of unpack that a little bit and say, thank you, and let it go. Like, shake it off. I think I mentioned in a previous podcast where animals in nature, when they have an encounter, you'll see them. You can see it on documentaries. Watch a nature documentary and watch something like two monkeys have a scrap, and then afterwards the monkey will just like shake itself off and then just like walk off and start nibbling on a banana or something. Animals do this, but we don't do it. We kind of sit down and we lock ourselves in the emotion. We carry it around. What if we can just shake things off? So if you get angry, let it come, acknowledge it, let it go. And if you need to deal with it, if you need to unpack it, if you need to kind of analyze it a little bit because you don't want that reaction in the future because it feels maybe irrational, unnecessary for what actually happened, then of course do that. So we're not stopping ourselves from being human. It's normal to get angry. It's normal to get upset. It's normal to be overwhelmed or frustrated or all of these things. But what we don't want is for those states to last a long period of time. Like, it's okay to be upset for an hour or two. If something bad happens, you might be upset for quite a while. It's okay, totally normal. But the sooner we can let go, like genuinely let go and move on, the more empowered we are. The problem is people get power and they feel relevant and they enhance their sense of self and identity by holding on to emotions. Because they also get to tell people about it. Oh, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm this. And you then bring energy to you. People then start to ask you about it and you become more relevant. But do you want to live that way? Do you want to draw attention to yourself because you're living and carrying those emotions? And the worst state to be in is playing the victim. I've spoken about this quite a lot recently. I thought I never played the victim, and I did. And after a lot of deep work, I've released myself of those last bits of victim mentality. But it is the worst character type to walk around playing the victim of life, because you are disempowering yourself. And I used to do it with my physiological function. So now what I try and do is, if I wake up one day and I'm tired, I'm not feeling my best, I don't live in it anymore. I'm not like, oh, I can't work, I'm not going to be able to do X, I'm not going to be able to do Y, and like almost berate myself about it. I just accept it. And sure, I might reflect and go, do you know what? It might be because I went to bed too late, or it might be because of whatever. I analyze it. I say, right, let's not do that next time. And I let it go. I let it go. And if you can learn to do this, it's so powerful. But what we have to do is we have to look at the volume of things in our life that could hold power over us. And that's why I've been talking about alcohol recently. It can hold power over you. If you need it to de-stress, if you need it to socialize, if you need it to feel confident, it holds power over you. The sooner you can detach yourself from needing alcohol for anything, the more powerful a human you become. It's the same with caffeine. If you need caffeine to function, it holds some level of power over you. Now, that might seem like a ridiculous statement to you, because caffeine is such an ingrained, habitual thing. Everyone's drinking it. And I'm not saying caffeine is bad. Feel free to go back to listen to my big overview of how I kind of feel about caffeine and how I'm kind of framing it in my life. But you don't want something to have power over you. Think about other things that might have power over you. Fashion. It's another great example. If you follow a lot of fashion, you like to be like on trend. Well, that has power over you, because now you have to bend to fashion. Oh, there's a new type of trainer that everyone's wearing. And that takes away your money, your mental capacity, your time. You're now scrolling online being like, oh, I need to find a new pair of trainers. What color do I like? That now has power over you. Do you want that? People can have power over you. Now, that takes a lot of unpacking, family, friends, etc. But if you let them have power over you, then you are not powerful as an individual, because they are potentially influencing your behaviors, your actions, your decisions in life. And if you want to be truly free as a human, which is one of my values as an awesome human, then you have to detach yourself from things that have power over you. What if you could get up on a day and literally walk out into your garden and just literally stand in your garden all day? Now, I know that sounds ridiculous, but just think about what I'm trying to get you to feel. I'm trying to get you to feel that you need nothing to exist. And when you need nothing, you are totally free as a human. You are totally powerful as a human. And then you can build your life exactly what you want on top of that. Now, as soon as you need lots of different things to be happy, oh, I need to be energized, I need to be fashionable, I need to have a coffee, I need to have this, you lose more and more of your power, because your time, your attention, your energy has to go on those things. And then they start to determine how you might behave. And if you start to look at your life, do a weekly or a monthly audit of where your time goes, of where your energy goes, how much, and be honest, like, I'm not judging you here. This is simply for your benefit. How much power do those things hold over you? And do they make you do things, or do they make you spend more time doing those things than you actually want to? If so, how could you break free? What would it mean to break free? Because if you want to be free, if you want to be powerful, and I believe every human on this planet deserves to be powerful, to live their truth, to live with love, to live on their own terms, to live with passion, I believe you can have that, but you have to break free of all these things that you feel that you need. It's good to want things. It's good to use things to optimize, to dial in. But if you need it, then it has control over you. And that's where the conversation recently around supplements might have come in. People have said to me, Ben, oh, do I need your sleep supplement? No. And I would hate for you to have the perspective that you need it, because, and this is the distinction of how you tell, if I took it away from your life, would it cause you a pang of anxiety? If it did, if it does, then you are attached to it. If I didn't have my sleep supplement tonight, for example, I'd be like, that's a shame, because I know it does improve my deep sleep and I feel more rested, but it's okay. I will still sleep well. I will be okay. It's the same with caffeine. If you woke up one morning and you couldn't have a cup of coffee, would it cause you a pang of anxiety? Would you be like, how am I going to function? Like what's going to happen? So tired. Then that has power over you. But if you then make a conscious choice to be like, be really nice to have a coffee, I'll feel a bit more energized, I feel a bit more focused, then that's different. And what you need to do is you need to actually spend time in that space to know what this feeling's like. Because so many of you will probably listen to what I'm saying right now and go, this stuff doesn't have power over me. But until you actually do it, you never actually find out. And that's why I love getting people to do self-experiments to see what actually happens in that space. It's like if you went alcohol-free, what happens in that period where you are alcohol-free, where you get to a Friday night, it's been a hard week, and you'd usually grab a glass of wine or whatever to like wind down, unpack the week. What happens in that space where you don't have it? Where you're battling with like, should I have the wine? Shouldn't I? Like, what's going to happen? How will I going to feel? How will I de-stress? That is where the growth comes as a human, where you have to sit in that space. It's like meditation. People sit down and say, I can't meditate. I've got a busy mind. You've already lost because you've sat down and you've expected a certain outcome. If I sit down and I'm like, right, I'm going to do 10 minutes of meditation. At the end of it, I expect to feel more de-stressed or calmer or whatever. And it's in that uncomfortable time where you're learning to meditate, you're sitting down, you're with your thoughts, you're on your own, that you have to confront the fabric of your brain, the fabric of your thoughts, the contents of your soul. And that's where the growth comes in, where you spend time observing your thoughts in a non-judgmental way to actually allow yourself to understand yourself as a human. And doing this from a non-judgmental perspective is so important. We don't need to beat ourselves up with, why am I thinking like that? Why do I have those thoughts? No, we simply need to observe. Meditation is about observing, understanding, and becoming at one, not at conflict with, but at one with our mind, with our soul, and who we are. And so much of what I want to try and teach about the awesome human is you enabling yourself to be free. Free as a human to do what you want, to live your life, to live with vitality, to be healthy. You deserve that. We all deserve that. Our family deserve that. Our friends deserve that. Our communities deserve that. And you can have that, but initially you have to start to believe. And I speak to so many people that have so much potential, and the thing that's simply stopping them right at the start is the stories that they're telling themselves. And caffeine is a great example. I'll say to people, why don't you try going caffeine free or going down to one a day? And straight away, the story is, I don't know how I would function. Flip it. If I cut out caffeine, how could I feel? Or this is a lovely frame I like. Who would I have to be to not drink coffee? Who would I have to be to have the confidence to change jobs? Who would I have to be to follow my dreams and passions? Who would I have to be to go to the gym because I'm scared of going to the gym? And when we think about the future self of us, it's such a great and empowering question to say, rather than putting a blocker of a story up, who would I have to be to achieve that goal? You might want a promotion at work. Who would I have to be the manager of the whole of the sales team? And then you get to say, okay, I would have to have these skills. I would have to have these experiences. I would have to do this. I'd have to be more confident. Right, now we make a plan. Because then the next question behind that from your initial question is, okay, do I think it's possible? Yes. Well, other people have done it. Other people have gone from sales rep to sales manager. So I can do it. Do I have all the skills, attributes, and experience that I need right now? No, but I'm going to do it. It's like building a great physique in the gym. You might not have it right now, but is it possible? Of course it's possible. But firstly, you have to believe it's possible. And then you go, right, do I have the skills, experience, and know-how to get to that goal right now? The answer might be yes. The answer might be no. If the answer is no, cool, let's go and build a plan. And what's a realistic time frame to achieve that plan? Brilliant. Am I willing to go on that journey in that time scale? Yes or no? Now I know I'm deviating here. And the reason for that is I want this podcast to hit a nerve. I want you to feel inspired by the end of it. I want you to think, do you know what? I can be a different person. I want to be a different person. I believe I can be a different person. But so much of the thing that holds that back is the story that we're telling ourselves and the things that we're attached to that have power over us that shouldn't have power over us. And you need to take the power back. You are a powerful human, powerful beyond measure. And this is my message to you, that I believe in you, that you can be a more powerful individual and achieve and do exactly what it is that you want. But you have to become unattached. You have to become a free human. You have to believe. You have to find a path. You have to open yourself up. Because when you open yourself up to the possibility, trust me, the things that you need will come into your life. You just have to be ready for it. You just have to be willing to it. And that's where the kind of power of manifestation comes in, because what you're doing is you're creating an energetic imprint for the world. So you might sit down and be like, I want to be the type of person that can run a marathon. And I'm willing to go on that journey. I believe I can run a marathon. I'd like to start to make friends or find information that will help me be a marathon runner or run a marathon. And the thing is what you're also doing is cognitively, you're setting your brain up to see and tune into the things that will actually help you do it. So on a neurological level, you will start to see the things in your life, in your environment that can help you get there. And then energetically, you will start to bring the people in that can support that journey. And that is where the great things happen in life, where you start to marry up what your brain wants, what your heart desires, and what the universe and all of the amazing people out there can help you achieve. But you've got to become unattached. You've got to take your power back. You've got to change the stories that you're telling yourself. You've got to believe, you've got to create plans, you've got to create that energetic imprint to the world to say, this is the journey that I'm on and this is what I want to achieve. And you will be absolutely amazed at the human that you can be. Because I believe that so many of us hold ourselves back because we really don't see and appreciate our power. But there's a recipe to getting our power back. And if you want your power back, this is the start. And you might not have all the answers right now, and it doesn't matter. You don't need to have all the answers. Don't think you need to have the answers. You just need to walk the road. You just need to walk the road and believe that you can do it and trust that you can do it, because you will start to get a month down and that you'll meet that person. You'll meet a person in a coffee shop, wherever, and it'll be like, oh, I do this. You're like, oh, I'm trying to do that. And like, oh, can we have a coaching session, or can I meet you for coffee or whatever? And then you see a book, and then, but that's where you have to have the intention, because intention leads to action. If you have an intention, but then you have a fear on top of it, it will block the intention. So that's why taking your power back and believing in yourself is so important, because you take away those fears. And fears are really, which are all wrapped up in the stories that we tell ourselves, the things that hold people back. But we have to be able to leap over them, believe, have an intention, and then you start to walk the path that gets you to your destination. And it might take you quite a long time. Many of the greatest things in life do take time, but it is a very worthy journey. That's it from me today. I'll tell you what, if this podcast hit a nerve, or inspired you or you would like to share, please reach out to me on social. I'd love to hear how this podcast made you feel. And if you feel that someone else could do with this podcast, then please forward it on to them. Otherwise, have an awesome day. Go be an awesome human. I believe in you because you are an incredible, powerful human. Now go realize it.